It's not working yet. Yes. Okay, so really this morning, ladies and gentlemen, I will give you examples of another really point or important element of poetry, which is to focus on the speaker or the voice in a poem. Because we said in a novel or a short story or many other elements, we have what we call the narrator or a narrator. And the narrator will tell you more about characters and events and so on. Whereas in poetry, we really don't have narrators as such, but we call them speaker or the speaker, because normally we don't say the poet himself. Of course, we say, yes, the poem is written by the poet and everything is done by the poet and so on. But the speaker, meaning in a way, the voice in the poem will be somebody else, meaning could be, a poet writing about an old woman, about a young woman, about a young child, or about an old man, or about a soldier, or about anything. That figure will be represented in the voice in the poem, and that's what we see here. We say the speaker of this poem believes, or the speaker says, or the speaker whatever. So here we are going to focus on this idea, which I call, as I say, really the speaker. And we have in our outline, as I gave you, you can see here, we have one example by the Canadian really nice poet and novelist, actually, and short story writer, Margaret Atwood. And here a poem called Death of a Young Son by Drowning. And I give you another example, hopefully later, by William Wordsworth and by Dorothy Parker. I think these are the three examples of what we call really voice. Now, as I said, in all poems, not just these three, in all poems, everywhere in poetry, we see this, we find this. But here, I'm just giving you really examples. You say to me, well, is this the only one? I said, no, definitely not. I'm saying everywhere in poetry, really, we find this all the time. So if I look at Margaret Atwood's poem, really, it's a very amazing example. I will show you that towards the end of the poetry section in our booklet. Remember, I'm looking at the booklet here. Yeah, where is it? Yeah, actually, she's the last poem, the last section here, page 50. Please check your notes, because maybe I will share with you the page, because remember last time we discovered that whenever we share, we lose connection. So I will share with you only this little bit to see what happens. Okay, so I will share with you just to draw your attention, if you to show you what I mean here. Notice here, page 50 in my booklet, the one I sent you, and I'm sure you can see it in front of you, or in your own, if you have printed it as paper or on your laptops or whatever. Notice this poem here is by Margaret Atwood, and I really, as you can see, I did not give any introduction about the poet. But as I said, she's a very famous contemporary, actually modern and contemporary, still alive poet, Canadian poet. And here, this poem called Death of a Young Son by Drowning. Notice here, he who navigated with success the dangerous river of his own birth, once more set forth on a voyage of discovery. Into the land I floated on, but could not touch to claim. His feet slid on the bank, the currents took him. He swirled with ice and trees in the swollen water and plunged into distant regions, his head a bathysphere, through his eyes thin glass bubbles. Let me check, did I lose connection? I'm still fine. Yeah, good. Yeah, because really this is sometimes worrying. Yeah, and plunged into, yeah, he looked out, reckless adventurer, on a landscape stranger than Uranus. We have all been to, and some remember, there was an accident. The air locked. He was hung in the river like a heart. They retrieved the swamped body. Kern of my plans and future charts, with poles and hooks from among the nudging logs. It was spring. The sun kept shining. The new grass leapt to solidity. My hands glistened with details. After the long trip, I was tired of waves. My foot hit rock. The dreamed sails collapsed, ragged. I planted him in this country like a flag. You know, this is really funny in a way to see here the mixture of, you know, now who's speaking here in this poem? Who is, do you think, who is speaking here? No, you know, notice the title, Death of a Young Son by Drowning. So the speaker is an old person, could be, of course, from the title, I'm speaking about from the title, could be the father or mother of a child, of a son who was drowned, by, yeah, I'm fine. You still, you're still there? You can hear me and see, yeah?
Yes, doctor, it's all good.
Good, very good. So no interruptions, thank God. So the point really I'm making here, the speaker. So from the title, I'm saying, from the title, the speaker could be a father or mother. And then when you move on, you know, you realize that this could be the mother really speaking about her son who died, who was traveling into, you know, into the outside world, into discovery, into, you know, someone who leaves home to find his way in life, to find a job, to find something. And sadly, that son died in that first journey, if you like. And this is really the disaster, or the really the you know, the tragedy. So the speaker here, we say, the speaker is a very sad mother or father talking about their son or their child who was killed by the sea. And the really, if you like, the amazing imaginative way of describing the death, or how this boy, you know, got into trouble and really he was killed by the sea. And of course, the tragedy here to say that, you know, to bury or to find your own child, and because really fathers and mothers, you know, it's very hard to bury your own children, to bury your own son, whether you are a father or a mother or even a grandfather, because it's very, very, if you like, sad and really touching. Because normally children bury their parents, not parents bury their children. And really this is the idea. And this is the tragedy about it. You know, when she's talking here about that, her son, he, meaning the son, who navigated with success. Remember, so here we have the narrator, a mother is saying about her son, telling us, as if to say, listen to my story. I'm telling you about the story of my son who went away to find his way in life, to find a job or to find work or something, to travel to succeed. You know, this is the idea. Navigated, you know, who started, you know, not just navigation at sea to sail or whatever, but here it could be in anywhere, and it could be a symbol really. The navigation into the sea or to the water or to the river or any water could be, as I said, a symbol here or a metaphor for life, metaphor for really life, to work outside, to travel outside, to find work and to, you know, to find a living. So here she's, the speaker, the old woman, the mother, is talking about her son who navigated, who traveled with success, the dangerous river of his own birth, where he was born in a small village next to a river, and he used to go through this river all the time. On a voyage of discovery into the land I floated on, but could not touch to claim. Meaning how he traveled for the first time from his birthplace, from his own village, from his own small town next to this river, when he started into this dangerous voyage, into a voyage of discovery. He wants to find himself, to find a job. And then, you know, to say floated, land I floated on, but could not touch to claim. Again, notice here, the land I floated on, notice here to see I. She's using the first person I, the speaker, to say here about, to compare her life to her son here. Again, she went back to the next paragraph or next stanza. As you can see, the poem, again, there's no rhyme, success, birth, forth, discovery, on, claim, no rhyme. And even the meter is irregular. And really you can see here, because it's a modern style poetry, and modernist poetry, really, it's very different from old, if you like, classical or early, let's say, traditional poetry, which is mostly all rhymed and nicely metered, you know, with iambic or trochaic or anapaestic or whatever. So this style here, because as I said, this is a 20th century still contemporary poet who's writing in modernist technique or contemporary free style or free poetry. So that's why here you can see all sorts of differences. No rhyme, no meter, and the length, there is irregularity in the length of the stanza and so on. Okay, so look at the next section. She goes back to say he, about her son. His feet slid on the bank, the currents took him. He swirled with ice and trees in the swollen water. So here we see, it seems that it's a winter day, it's a winter time, and it's a river. So he was traveling in a canoe maybe, or a small boat or a canoe, and it was dangerous and there was snowing. So that's why his feet slid, and then he fell into the water. And he said the current took him. So as if to say there is, you know, the water is dangerous. So he was taken away swiftly by the current, by the water, and he was killed there. So that's why she said swollen, again swirled with ice, again, so very cold water and absolutely dangerous water. So that's why, as you can see, the word swollen water means very, really rough sea and rough condition, really. Again, in the next section, she said, he plunged into the distant regions, you know, as if to say he disappeared, totally was swallowed up by the sea, by the water, into the distant regions. His head a bathysphere, through his eyes thin glass bubbles, you know, as if to say the way he was swimming or trying to swim, and he was taken away into very distant areas, distant places, so he couldn't be found, and his head was totally damaged, and even his eyes, or his, you know, you can see his even the glass that he was wearing, maybe for if you like, it's, you know, like bubbles. And really, this is, you can see she's talking here about the body of the dead child. He looked out, reckless adventurer. You know, she goes back to describe him the way he started his journey. Looked out, reckless adventurer, and on a landscape stranger than Uranus. We have all been to, and some remember. So, as if to say, he's a stranger to this thing. He's never traveled before. He has no idea. So that's why he's a stranger to this thing. So that's why he was immediately taken away by the current. He has no experience, and that's why he was strongly killed, as if taken absolutely into strange areas where he was never been before. And, you know, she said, maybe we old people, maybe we know this, but for him as a young boy, he has no idea. So that's why, with no experience, that's why he was immediately taken away by the current. There was an accident. The air locked. He was hung in the river like a heart. They retrieved the swamp body. You know, again, she comes back to say to they, the people who went to try maybe to save him or to find him, because his body was swamped and taken away. So they say there was an accident, and, you know, everything was terrible, and he was killed. You know, his body, you know, his heart, she said, is hung, you know, like a heart. And they brought back his body, his dead body. And he said he was all the plans that he had in his mind. And I was very happy maybe for him, for my child, to go out and to find a job and to find life. But he came back dead. You know, he was trying to find, remember, maybe this is, you know, the poem here is written in Canada, and Canada is surrounded by massive seas, and there are a lot of waters, a lot of lakes and rivers, and people are used to this. So really the surrounding and the atmosphere where you find people really go into dangerous travel and dangerous work, and that's why they get killed, you know. So I think it happened everywhere when people go into the sea, and like fishermen and if you like, people who always go out to sea. And I think here, even in Oman, many people sometimes go into dangerous situations when the water is really dangerous and rough. You know, they warn people not to go to the sea. And here she said, you know, the way they brought him, his dead body, and he was, you know, all the time, you know, we were thinking of him to have a good job, a good, you know, kind of life. Notice, with poles, kern of my plans and future charts, with poles and hooks from among the nudging logs. It was spring, the sun kept shining, the new grass leapt to solidity, my hands glistened with details. You know, here again she is describing her way, waiting for her son to come back in the early, in the springtime. It was spring and the sun was shining early morning, and she said the new grass, as if to say early spring, when, you know, everything seems to be alive or lively, but you know, her son is dead. And really, this is the irony. And she said, my hands glistened with details, as if to say, she wants to say, I want to tell you a lot of things. What about my plans, what I've done and I will be doing, but I'm very sad because I want to bury my own son. After the long trip, I was tired of waves. Notice here again, you know, she's impersonating, if you like, or really she is using her own voice into his voice. You know, she's imagining herself into the same trip like her. She's as if she's talking about her own trip, you know, to compare herself to her own son. I was tired of waves. So here really you say, come on, who's speaking here? Is it she, the mother, or the boy who's dead? But he's dead now. And again, she's really impersonating his body to say, you know, this is the idea. After a long trip, he said, I was tired of the waves. My foot hit rock. The dreamed sails collapsed, ragged. So I traveled for a long, long, long time, for a long, long journey. And at the end, I was tired. And at the end, my ship hit rock. And then it got damaged. And it really, you know, I lost everything. And my ship collapsed, damaged, wrecked. And then everything is lost. My dreamed sails, you know, all the travels that I was dreaming of were destroyed. Everything collapsed. Everything is damaged. You know, again, ragged, completely destroyed. And then she said, I planted him. Again, notice, you know, she's really confusing us to say I and then him. Now she's going back to say about her son. I planted him, as if to say, you know, having a flag, and she wants to plant a flag to say, this is my land, you know, as a really like a mark to say, you know, this is my territory and this is my land. And she said, like a flag, I planted him in this country like a flag, you know. She buried her son, you know, in her land to say, this is a mark of my son and this is my land. And you can see his grave now next to the sea, next to the river, next to the place which killed him, you know. So you can see here the voice in this poem is a sad, really very sad mother who is talking and telling us about her son, how her son was killed by the sea, and how she's really feeling terrible and miserable to receive his body and to bury his body, and to feel absolutely, you know, terrible about losing her child in this way. Really, this is very serious and very tragic, you know, poem, but the voice, you can see the voice here, of course, you know, this is what we mean here by the speaker and the voice. So the speaker is a sad woman, is a tragic woman, a woman who is angry and crying for her dead son. So this is the idea. The poet could be a young lady, you know, the poet could be a young woman, the poet could be a young man, but the speaker is, as you can see, you know, an old, could be old, you know, sad, absolutely sad mother. And that's what we mean here, of course, really what we mean by the idea of the speaker, okay? If you like, really, this is the idea I'm saying here about the voice. Any question about this poem, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls?
No, thank you, Doctor.
Okay. Now I'll move on to the next example, and my next example is, I go back to my friend Wordsworth. As you can see, there is really a very nice example here by Wordsworth. Actually, before Wordsworth, here we are in the same page. Stay in the same page, page 50. I was reading the next poem after that. Is the same thing about voice. It's Dorothy Parker, the same page. Look at it, page, the next poem. Immediately after that, you can see Dorothy Parker, who is again another American poet, who is talking about another. Here we have a stanza. Notice here a stanza, really a very nice poem, well, short poem. In a way, short poem, only 2 sections, 2 stanzas. But this is an example, again, of voice, a speaker. Here, notice, called A Certain Lady. A Certain Lady. Okay, Sayyidatun Ma. Okay, now look at the poem here. Oh, I can smile for you until my head and drink your rushing words with eager lips and paint my mouth for you a fragrant red and trace your brows with tortured fingertips. When you rehearse your list of loves to me, oh, I can laugh and marvel, rapturous-eyed, and you laugh back, nor can you ever see the 1,000 little deaths my heart has died. And you believe, so well I know my part, that I am gay as morning, light as snow, and all the straining things within my heart you will never know. Oh, I can laugh and listen when we meet, and you bring tales of fresh adventurings, of ladies delicately indiscreet, of lingering hands and gently whispered things. And you are pleased with me and strive anew to sing me sagas of your late delights. Thus, do you want me marveling gay and true, nor do you see my staring eyes of nights? And when in search of novelty you stray, oh, I can kiss you blithely as you go. And what goes on, my love, while you are away, you will never know. Really, this is a lovely poem. So, who is speaking here? Yeah, Ala. Hello?
Yes, Doctor.
Who is?
The writer
Yeah?
is like talking about his about a certain lady.
Is the writer is a woman, Dorothy. Dorothy is the name of a woman. Dorothy Parker, she's a woman. And she's talking the title, A Certain Lady. So the speaker is a woman, correct?
Yes.
What kind of woman?
A gay?
Sorry?
I don't know. But she said here.
What was the word you said?
She said that I am gay as morning, light as snow.
Yeah, really, the word gay here is in the old sense means really happy, pleasant, pleased, happy thing. It's not to do with homosexuality, it's nothing that. So here really, it's, yeah, anybody, boys? What do you think this woman talking about what? Anas?
Maybe
Yeah.
her a child.
A child?
Yes.
No, it's not about a child. No. Yeah, boys.
I think she's talking about her lover.
Yes, very good. Very good, Ismail. Yes. Here we have a woman who is teaching her lover a lesson. Her man, her boyfriend, or her man, her friend, her husband, anybody. But here he is her man, and she's telling him, you are terrible man, and I tell you one thing. You are laughing at me, you are mocking me, you are doing things to me, and you think I'm stupid. I'm not stupid. I am a woman, and I know what I'm doing with you, and you see, you know, this is the idea, a certain lady, me until my head. You know, till, you know, boys here in, I think in in Oman here, I've noticed, you know, Indian people here. Can you see me here? You can see my picture. You can see me.
Yes, doctor.
Yes, but it's blurry.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, Indians, whenever they speak to you, if you are in a supermarket or anywhere, the way they speak, they always move their heads like this, isn't it? They always tell you, even they say more words like this than speaking, isn't it? Have you noticed that? Especially, I noticed this really. I noticed this. Indians are really excellent. The people I see in supermarkets, the way they speak to them. I mean, people always, they use their heads. They do this and that. You know, the movement of the head. And here she said tilt. You know, tilt when you want to show as being a coquettish or something. You just tilt your head like this to show as if you are maybe, you know, shy, or you want to play around. You want to play with your man or with your whatever, and the way you do this and that, you know, that's what she said, tilt. I can tilt my head, and I can show, and I can play games with you, and you will never know. She said, you will never know. Meaning, you are, you think you can mock me? You can't. She said, I can smile for you and tilt my head and drink your rushing words with eager lips. Means, yeah, I can swallow what you are saying to me. Notice here the metaphor. She said, drink your words. You know, this is a really strong metaphor. Drink your words. As if, you know, she's comparing words to water, isn't it? Drink your words. Really, this is the idea here. It's a very lovely metaphor here, meaning I can swallow, I can listen to you, and again she said with eager lips, you know, I can, as if to say, you know, I can take everything from you, you know, no problem. I take it easily, but don't think I am a fool. I know. And paint my mouth for you a fragrant red. I can, meaning I can show you all the good things about me. I can paint my face and my lips for you, and you think I'm beautiful and lovely, and absolutely, notice here, fragrant red. You think I'm laughing and I'm happy and I'm etc. for you. And trace your brows with tortured fingertips. She said, I can, you know, I can see, you know, on your brows, this is your, you know, your forehead here, and, you know, the way she said, this is your brows, you know, I can touch your brows or see the way you are, and maybe, you know, welcome you, and etc. When you rehearse your list of loves to me, notice here the word rehearse. You know, this is the word I mean. Normally, we say here to rehearse as if you are really training yourself, as if you really don't mean it, as if you are a liar. You're telling lies when you say to someone all the time, oh, I love you, oh, I want to marry you, oh, blah, 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 oh, I want to buy you a big house, oh, I want to get you, you know, a whatever, Jaguar, whatever, right? All this funny thing. You know, this is, when we say rehearse, like practicing, as if you are new into this area. I know you are lying. I know you are rehearsing. Again, she said, list means you are counting one, twice, many times you are lying. And that's what she said, list of loves to me. You know, how many times you tell me I love you, I love you, I love you, and you are lying. You are a liar. Oh, I can laugh and marvel, rapturous-eyed. Oh, I can smile for you, and I can laugh for you, and you will never know that I don't believe you. I will make out that I believe you. Even I will show you my eyes will be shining, and I know, deep down, I know you are not telling the truth. And you laugh back. You think I'm laughing to you, and then you laugh back to me. Nor can you ever see the 1,000 little deaths my heart has died. You laugh, you stupid man, you terrible, ugly man. You laugh, and you think that I laugh back with you? No, I'm dying 1,000 times because I know you are a liar. Oh, this is terrible, isn't it? And she said, and you believe? You believe? You ignorant, stupid? You believe? So, well, I know my part. So now I can show you that I am acting. I know well my role, my act with you. I'm playing with you the same game you are playing with me. In the same way like you, that I am gay as morning. Do you think I'm happy like the morning? Do you think I'm happy and pleased? Like you will never know. She said, well, the way you look at me and you think I'm laughing, you think I'm happy, you think I'm doing this, but you will never know deep down inside me. You will never know. You are terrible, and you will never know what's inside me. I can show you, and you think I'm stupid, but I am not. And again, she said, oh, I can laugh and listen when we meet. Yeah, she said, yeah. You keep on laughing at me. You keep on telling me lies, but really I can tell. I can laugh in the same way like you. You are telling me lies, you are acting, and I'm acting the same like you, and I know you, and you bring me tales of fresh adventures. And every time you come, you tell me new stories, that you have a lot of people, other people, you have other girlfriends, you have other women around you, you have a lot of adventures, yeah, and you are so proud to tell me you know so many other women, of ladies delicately indiscreet. You know, she's telling him, you're telling me back again that you have so many other women, and you think you are proud of that. Notice, of ladies delicately indiscreet, of lingering hands and gently whispered things. You know, you are telling me lies about what they tell you, these ladies, you know. And by the way, boys, and this is my advice to my boys here, boys, don't ever talk to your loved one. If you love a girl, don't ever tell her about other women, because she will be absolutely angry with you.
That's common sense, doctor.
Very good. Yes, very good. Really, this is the idea. I mean, this is absolutely what she's saying here to him. You think you are you know, a Casanova of your world? You're coming back and tell me about your other women and your whisperings and what they are telling you. again, and you are pleased with me and strive anew, and all the time you come to me and you try again and again, you know, strive anew, meaning you strive a fresh time. Every time you think you'll win me back, to sing me sagas of your last delights. Again, notice the word sing me, as if he's saying it and saying it and saying it, like repeating a song. And notice the word sagas. Sagas mean stories, endless, 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 endless stories. So he's telling her all the time stories, and she's really very angry with him. And you sing, she said, you are happy to tell me all these terrible stories, and they are all lies. Again, she said, you know, delights, late delights, as if you are so happy in the past. Thus do you want me, marveling, gay and true? Do you really want me to be happy? Do you really want me to be pleased and happy with you? And to be honest and true to you? Do you want me to be like that? No way. You are terrible. You are a liar. Nor do you see my string eyes of night. Sorry, staring. I'm sorry. It's my eyes. Nor do you see my staring eyes of nights. She said, you will never, you are ignorant. He said, I don't sleep at night because I'm angry with you. I hate you because I sleep no nights. I spend my nights staring all the time. I can't sleep. And when in search of novelty you stray, and even sometimes if you want to try something new, you try, sometimes you go wrong. You go wrong and you go and you are lost. Oh, I can kiss blithely as you go. Oh yeah, I can kiss you goodbye. Yeah, I can kiss you goodbye and say, okay, I'm fine. But really, you are stupid. And what goes on, my love? And what goes on, my love, while you are away? You will never know. Now, what she's saying here to say it to him, and yeah, I can say goodbye and I can kiss you goodbye. But my friend, when you are away, what's going on? You go away, my love. Here really, when she said, this is what I mean by, you know, ironical, isn't it? When she says my love, isn't it? Do you think she means it?
No.
You know, she means really the opposite. You know, she's really mocking him and laughing at him. You know, when she say, my love, yeah, you know what is going to happen when you go away? Well, you will never know. Now, I'm not saying here that this is a bad woman or anything. No. This is a tough lady. This is a strong lady. This is a all there lady who knows everything what goes on with this man, and she knows that this man is wicked and is terrible and is, you know, laughing at her and mocking her and so on, and that's why she hates him. And that's why she's saying to him, you think you can fool me? You know, so that's why she's saying, you know, here the writer, she said, a certain lady, because we have so many ladies like that. We have so many, a lady who's like, you know, like this, who is being fooled by her man, and, you know, even sometimes her men even are, you know, the fooler one. Really, they are the fools to believe that their wives or their women believe them. Really, this is the idea. She's saying to us here, this voice, you know, so here the speaker is a woman wise women, intelligent women, wide awake women, sad women, angry women, revengeful, maybe revengeful woman who wants to tell her man he is bad, he is treating her in a bad way, he is, mocking her, he is laughing at her, he is lying at her, and so on. So, but she knows all this. She knows all this. And she's fooling him and in a way playing the same game with him. But at the end of the day, she's saying to him, well, that's enough. That's enough. You know, it's like, Noura and Doll's House. Hello? You did the Doll's House in the Lang?
Yes.
Yeah, what do you think of what do you think of Noura there?
Her husband was treating her as a doll. And then when she finally realized that, she left him.
Yeah, I think I asked you this question last term, isn't it? When I gave you literature 1, did I? Yeah, Ala? Because you were with me. Huh?
Yes,
I am not
doctor.
sure.
You did.
Yeah, because I said, but how can you leave 4 children at home and go away? Isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. Anyway, so the idea here, this certain lady is a little bit like Noura in A Doll's House by Ibsen. When she said to her man, I've had enough. I'm sick of you. You are treating me all the time like a doll, and I'm in the same way her father also, originally her father treated her like a doll, and so on. But really here, this lady here is still not, maybe she's not married yet to this man, and she's, telling him about the power of absorption, the power of comprehension, the power of understanding, the power of tolerance, how women can tolerate and can wait and can wait and wait, how patient they are, and they are so patient, and they wait and they give the man, more chances and more chances and more chances, but we men are terrible. We don't learn. What? Boys? Boys? Hello? You don't want to answer me? No problem. Okay. So really the idea here is very clear. We're talking about the voice, correct? We're talking about the voice, and I think it's obvious, absolutely obvious that the speaker is a very strong lady who knows very well what her man is doing to her, and she is really in a way taking some kind of revenge, maybe not revenge completely, but it's something like revenge in a way like that. So this is another example of what we call the speaker. Okay, or the voice. The last example I will give you today, this morning, is a really lovely woman, lovely poem by Wordsworth, William Wordsworth. She dwelt among the untrodden ways. I go back to Wordsworth. Here I will show you. Really is a very lovely, absolutely small, tiny poem. Here on page 27, page 27 of our booklet. I will show you here. I will share the screen with you a little bit. I'll share the screen with you a little bit. You can see it here. She dwelt among the untrodden ways. She dwelt among the untrodden ways. Trodden from tread, you know, this is the past tense, the past participle of, you know, to tread means to walk on, to touch by your feet, right? So she lives here. She says she dwelt, she lives, or she lived here in the past, because the title is in the past. She dwelt among the untrodden ways. She lives, or she lived in an area where nobody went there. Went there. Okay. Poem by this is the similar poem. This is the same thing. The next one. Notice. Have you found it in your? I want to stop sharing.
Yes.
Because sometimes.
Yes, doctor. It is here.
Oh, terrible. I lost. Hello? Hello?
Hello, doctor. Hello.
Yeah,
Welcome back.
I lost connection with you. How long have I been away? I don't know. I didn't. Yeah, it's terrible losing connection all the time. Anyway, I was reading the. I was still saying about the poem here, "A violet by a mossy stone." Here he's comparing this young lady to a small, tiny rose, or like a little flower which grows next to a mossy stone. Mossy, you know, the word mossy, again, as I said, which is like a stone or a green little tiny thing, like plants, small, tiny plants, green, very soft, tiny green thing which grows on wet ground or wet stones or wet surfaces or wet trunks of trees and so on. This is what we call in Arabic at-tahalib. Do you know that? At-tahlab or tahalib? Boys,
Yes, doctor.
Yes, doctor.
we use it in science books. We use the same word. So here, notice he's describing or comparing his woman to a little flower, to a tiny flower, lovely flower called violet. You know, this purple color, really purple color rose or flower, which grows near or next to a little stone. He said, half hidden from the eye. You can't, sometimes you can't see it. Again, he said, this lovely flower, this lovely woman, notice, fair as a star. Here we have simile, fair as a star. Whereas the first one, a violet by a mossy stone. Here we have metaphor, of course. Again, when we say fair as a star, when only one is shining in the sky. You know, comparing her beauty to a lovely, beautiful star, only if you have, like, for example, if you can imagine that the sky only has one star, and that star will be shining all over. And he's comparing her to, this is the only star in the sky, and which is shining everywhere, shining to all other planets everywhere. And I think this is a very absolutely lovely image here, description describing this woman to a lovely star. She lived unknown, and few could know when Lucy ceased to be. So he said, yeah, she lived unknown. Nobody knew her when she was alive. And even when she died, nobody knew about her death. Few could know when Lucy ceased to be. So she lived alone. Nobody knew her. She died alone, and nobody knew about her death. But he said, I know. The only one who knows, it's me. But she is in her grave. And oh, the difference to me. Yes, she's dead now in her grave, and I know she's dead. And I know that's the only difference to me. All the world, they don't know anything about her. But to me, the whole thing is totally different. Meaning, I know her. I know her. I loved her. I love her. And I still love her. And I'm very sad for her. And I will never forget her. And that's the only difference to me. The difference is that everybody else in the world don't know her. Everybody in the world did not appreciate her. Everybody in the world didn't know her and didn't know about her death. But I knew her and I loved her and I still love her. And I'm very sad now because I lost her. She's dead and I'm very sad to her. So this is the speaker again, who is very, very, very sad, who has lost his love, and in a very amazing fashion, he's telling us about her. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, again, as I said, all the poems, I'm saying all, really, all the poems I'm going to read for you, and you will always read, you will find a speaker. You will find a speaker and the voice there. So, I've just given you these 3 examples today, and I think that's enough. That's enough examples of this about speaker. Next time, I will give you, I will move on to the next section here. I'll give you what we call dramatic poetry, and I will spend the whole class on this poem called, as you can see in your outline, Dramatic Poetry by Robert Browning, My Last Duchess. I will give you that next time, so please read it. And there is analysis and something I gave it to you last time. So please check it for next meeting. So if you please have any question, you can ask me now.
Thank you, Doctor. There's no questions.
Okay, as
No
usual.
questions, Doctor.
Yeah, okay. Okay, girls, thank you very much. Okay,
Thank you,
Layla,
Doctor.
Layla, Ala, thank you. And Hajar and Ismail and Sultan. We have 2 people away. I don't know, this group is so small, and yet it's getting smaller and smaller. I don't know what's wrong with we have 2 people away today, Ammar and somebody else. I will check her name later. Anyway, if you don't have any question today, I will stop, and I'll stop here, of course, and I will see you next time.